For 6 straight years, one of the most respected business magazines in the world handed the same company the same crown, the most innovative company in America. Not one of the most. The most. 6 years running. This was a company Wall Street analysts begged you to invest in. Its leaders gave lectures at the finest universities. Its stock climbed and climbed, turning ordinary employees into paper millionaires and making its executives some of the most celebrated names in business. It had transformed itself from a sleepy pipeline operator into a dazzling, futuristic giant that seemed to be reinventing the entire idea of how a company could make money. Everyone wanted to be near it. Everyone wanted a piece of it. To doubt this company, in its prime, was to mark yourself as someone who just didn't get the future. And then, almost overnight, it was gone. Bankrupt. Worthless. Tens of thousands of jobs erased, billions of dollars in savings vaporized. The most innovative company in America turned out to be one of the most elaborate illusions in corporate history. And the most disturbing part is that its greatest innovation, the thing that earned it all that praise, was the lie itself. To understand the collapse, you have to understand the transformation that earned all the applause. This company started in a deeply unglamorous business, energy. Pipelines, natural gas, the dull, heavy infrastructure that powers a country. There is nothing exciting about a pipeline. But a new generation of leadership arrived with a radical vision. What if the company stopped thinking of itself as a boring energy business and started acting like a Wall Street trading firm? So that's exactly what it did. Instead of just moving gas through pipes, it began trading energy like a financial product, buying and selling contracts, betting on future prices, creating markets for things no one had thought to trade before. It became a middleman, a dealer, a casino for energy. And for a while, the profits were astonishing. The company looked like it had discovered a magic formula for turning a dull commodity into an endless river of money. This was the innovation everyone praised. It was clever, it was complicated, and crucially, almost nobody on the outside could really understand how the company actually made its money. And that confusion wasn't a bug. For what was coming next, it was the most important feature of all. Here is where the real innovation lived, not in energy, but in accounting. And it rested on a deceptively simple trick. Imagine you sign a deal that's supposed to earn you money over the next 20 years. Normally, you'd record those profits slowly, year by year, as the money actually arrives. But this company used a method that let it do something else, book the entire 20 years of projected profit immediately, today, as if it had already happened. Think about how intoxicating that is. You sign a deal, and you get to claim all the future profit right now, profit that is, at this point, just an optimistic guess. As long as you keep signing bigger and bigger deals, your reported earnings keep exploding, and Wall Street keeps cheering. The numbers on paper look spectacular. The problem is that the actual cash hasn't shown up, and may never show up in anything like the amounts you claimed. So the company became addicted to ever larger, ever more imaginative deals, because it needed each one to keep the illusion of growth alive. It was, in effect, recording dreams as dollars. And dreams, eventually, come due. But if you're booking profits that aren't real, a second problem appears very quickly. Where do you hide the debt and the losses? Because the deals weren't actually generating all that promised cash, real losses were piling up behind the scenes, along with mountains of debt. If those had appeared on the company's main financial statements, the whole spectacular story would have fallen apart instantly. The most innovative company in America would have looked like what it increasingly was, a business bleeding money. So they built a maze. The company created a web of separate, secretive entities, financial structures, partnerships, shells, and quietly stuffed the debt and the failing investments into them, off the main books. To the outside world, the company looked clean, profitable, and unstoppable. The garbage was simply moved into backrooms that investors couldn't see. Some of these structures were so convoluted that even seasoned financial experts couldn't follow them, and again, that opacity was the point. The most innovative company in America had, at its core, two innovations, a way to invent profits that didn't exist, and a way to hide the losses that did. Stack those two tricks on top of each other, for long enough, and you get a giant that is hollow all the way down. Now, you might be asking the obvious question. Where were the watchdogs? Companies this size have auditors, analysts, boards, and regulators whose entire job is to catch exactly this. How did everyone miss it? The uncomfortable answer is that many of them didn't miss it, they just had powerful reasons to look away. The company's outside auditor, one of the most prestigious accounting firms in the world, was earning enormous fees from the relationship and signed off on the books year after year. Wall Street analysts who depended on the company's banking business kept rating the stock a buy almost to the very end. Everyone in the ecosystem was making too much money to ask the hard questions. This is one of the most important lessons in the whole story. The fraud didn't survive because it was invisible. It survived because so many of the people who could have stopped it were profiting from its survival. When everyone in the room is getting rich, how exactly does this work, becomes a question nobody wants to be the one to ask. The crowd wasn't fooled so much as it was paid not to notice. Every illusion like this depends on one thing: it must keep growing. The moment the growth stalls, the math that was hidden in the backroom starts crawling back into the light. And eventually, it stalled. A few skeptical journalists and analysts began asking the simple, deadly question the insiders had avoided: how, exactly, does this company make its money? The answers didn't add up. Slowly, then suddenly, confidence cracked. The company was forced to admit that its earnings had been overstated and that it was buried in debt no one had known about. It had to restate its results, accounting language for admitting that the spectacular numbers had been, in large part, fiction. Once that admission landed, the collapse was breathtakingly fast. The stock that had made everyone rich went into freefall, plunging from the highest of highs toward nearly nothing in a matter of weeks. Its credit was destroyed. No one would trade with it anymore, and a trading firm that no one will trade with is already dead. The river of money reversed into a flood of margin calls and panic, and the giant simply caved in on itself. The same opacity that had protected it on the way up gave it no floor on the way down. Nobody knew what it was really worth, so when trust vanished, the value went straight to zero. The headlines focused on the executives and the courtroom drama that followed. But the people who truly paid the price were the ordinary employees. Many of them had been encouraged to load their retirement savings into the company's own soaring stock. They believed in it, why wouldn't they? It was the most innovative company in America. And as the stock cratered, a brutal final cruelty unfolded. Ordinary workers watched their entire life savings evaporate in real time, often while restrictions kept them from selling, even as the people at the top had already cashed out far more comfortably. People who had done nothing wrong, who had simply trusted their employer, lost their jobs and their futures in the same instant. And the damage didn't stop there. The collapse helped destroy that prestigious global accounting firm that had blessed the books. Tens of thousands of its own employees, most of whom had nothing to do with the fraud, lost their jobs too. The shockwave was enormous. It shook the public's faith in corporate accounting so badly that it led to sweeping new laws designed to make sure executives could never again hide behind numbers they knew were false. One hollow giant, when it finally fell, took an extraordinary amount of innocent ground down with it. So what do you actually take from this? The deepest lesson is about that word everyone used, innovative. We tend to treat innovation as automatically good, as proof that a company is smart, modern, ahead of the curve. But this story is a permanent warning that complexity and innovation can also be the perfect disguise. When a company's success is dazzling but nobody can quite explain how it works, that is not always genius. Sometimes it is a magic trick, and the thing being hidden is the truth. The crowd praised this company for being impossible to understand. They should have been terrified by it. The single most protective question an investor, an employee, or a journalist can ever ask is the boring one the whole ecosystem avoided. Can you explain to me, simply, how you make your money? A real business can answer that. An illusion gets annoyed that you asked. Every empire that falls this way tells the same quiet story, that being celebrated is not the same as being sound, and that the loudest applause often drowns out the one question that mattered. So tell me, down in the comments, is there a company today whose success you genuinely can't explain, no matter how hard you try? And if this one held you, the video on screen breaks down a beloved giant that laughed off a tiny rival and vanished 5 years later. Go watch it.